We have what we like to call our secret weapon for our plants, for our garden. What we use and what works excellent for us. I'm going to be talking about that. Y'all be sure you hang with us and we'll see what we can get done today. Hey guys, welcome back to STA Farms. In today's video, we're going to be working in our garden. So what the plan is, we're planning on trying to get our garden tilled up and ready to plant. As you've seen in our other videos, we have bought a tiller that goes on the back of the tractor. We're going to try to get our garden leveled up and get it ready to plant. Now, we've also moved our meat chickens out of the garage. We have a 300-gallon water tank that we keep on our garage that we use as a brooder. Wood chips and all the chicken litter and all that that's in our brooder, our makeshift brooder, we're going to be moving it over here to the garden and spreading it out on the garden and getting that tilled in. Then we're going to also be trying to plant our first plants for the year. So we've got a few cabbage plants that I picked up at the store, and we have what we like to call our secret weapon for our plants, for our garden. What we use and what works excellent for us. I'm going to be talking about that whenever we get these cabbage plants in the ground. So y'all be sure you hang with us and we'll see what we can get done today.
So we used breaking plows on this spot back in fall, maybe around October, but the weeds have come back up. We're hoping maybe going over this a few times we'll get it tilled up good enough. If not, then we'll end up having to get the disc back out. So as far as whenever we go to plant the gardens, so our location here in South Central Kentucky, it's usually kind of a rule of thumb that you don't really plant anything until Mother's Day weekend, because there's always that risk of frost up until then. So he's going to end up swiping back and forth, so I'm going to move the gator so I'm not in his way. So he changed direction and is going to tell it going sideways. He did go up and down, but now he's going sideways just to see if it'll till up a little bit better. All right guys, so what we're going to do now is this water trough that we had inside the garage, and we had the meat birds in it. Well, we had all the baby chicks in it. Now that we have all of them out into their coops, we're going to get this trough that's got all of the manure and all of that, and we're going to move it out to the garden area for fertilize.
All right guys, as you see, we got the tractor parked here in front of the garage of where we had the meat chickens. So this water tank that we had them in, we're going to be loading it up. We're going to put it over by our mobile coop. We're going to clean our mobile coop out in this, and then we're going to take it over to our garden area and spread it on our garden. It'll be really, really, really good fertilizer.
Slide's good.
Yeah, it does.
So here is the inside of the chicken coop. Are you going to try to get some of the hay that's spread out?
I'm going to get everything.
Everything? All right. I've got a shovel over here.
What do you think?
I think it's pretty good.
Think that's pretty good?
Yeah.
It's about as good as we're going to get it, I think.
I think so.
All right, guys. So, as you've seen, we have the garden tilled up. It's pretty good. It's pretty level. So we have it tilled in from the chicken litter and chicken manure from where we had the chicks in the tank in the garage, and the manure from the mobile coop. As you've seen, we got it spread on here. We've got that tilled in. And now we have our secret weapon. As you might see from the title of this video, this is our secret weapon that we use for our garden. This keeps us from having to buy fertilizer. what that is donkey manure mixed in with hay. So we have 2 donkeys. They have their own stall down here that they like getting in, and they'll stay in there away from the cattle, and that's where they use the bathroom. And then this stuff over a year's time will break down, and then we clean it out as we need it, and we use it. And we mix this in the soil, and it is excellent fertilizer for us. It's just what our soil needs. This is what keeps our crops growing, our garden looking good. So I'm going to spread this donkey manure out where I've got cabbage plants we're going to plant. I'm going to spread this donkey manure out where I'm going to plant them, and then we'll make our hills, and then we'll plant our cabbage. Okay, so I have the donkey manure spread out, and as you've seen, I got it worked into the soil. Now, they only had 3 cabbage plants at the store, so that's all I've got. Now, if we was doing a whole row of cabbage or a whole row of corn or whatever it was we're planting, if we was doing a whole row, I'd get our tiller. We have a rear tine tiller, not the one that goes on the back of the tractor, but a walk behind tiller. I would get it out, I'd spread the donkey manure out, and then I would till it in like that and then make my hills. But since I only have 3 hills to make, it's just a lot easier and quicker just to use a hoe. So I've got the manure worked into the soil. I don't know how well it's going to show up on camera, but I've got my hills made, and I've got my hole punched in the ground. 1, 2, and 3. So now let's get these cabbage plants in the ground. These plants, as you see here, they are fairly old. You can tell that by the roots. They're almost root bound. So what I want to do is I want to kind of break this up, okay? So I'm just kind of breaking it up. So break it up, and then I'm going to push it into the ground, and then put more dirt and stuff over it, and then push down. This one, as you can see, we're pretty root bound. I suspect all 3 of these, and from the way they look, they're going to be fairly root bound. So we're kind of breaking that up and then putting it down here like this, and then covering it up, and we have 1 more. All right, that's got our 3 cabbage plants in the ground. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go get some water, and I'm going to water this. Now they're calling for rain like the next, I think, 3 days, but I still want to put some water in there because these plants were root bound. I busted that root ball up, and they were a little bit dry. And as you can see, they're not the most healthy looking plants, but it's the only tray cabbage that they had. They had peppers and tomatoes, but I didn't want to go ahead and put them out because there's a possibility we could still get a frost and it would kill them. So I'm going to wait a couple more, about 2.5 more weeks before we get any of those and put those out. But the cabbage will be just fine. So I'm going to get some water. I'm going to water them. But I think one of the reasons that they're like this is because they were root bound. So whenever you're picking up plants at the store, you don't necessarily want the biggest plants. A lot of it depends on the size of pot it's in. Like these pots here, they come in packages of 3. I'm sure there's a name for this. I don't know what size this is, but quite honestly, these plants were too big for this size. If they'd been in a bigger pot, they wouldn't have been root bound, and they've been looking a lot better. But I think the reason they look like this is because they were root bound. Let me get some water. We'll get it watered, and then what I got to do, since we have free range chickens, I got to cover this with something. So we've got some tomato cages in the garage there. I'm going to grab those and just use those for now. Now, we are planning on having a full garden this year, and we have a temporary fence that we're going to be putting around this garden so the chickens cannot get in there. But since this is going to be the only thing that we have in the garden, I'm just going to put a couple tomato cages over them so the chickens can't get to them. All right, guys, as you can see, I've got the tomato cages over. Now, quite honestly, this will not keep the chickens from pecking at it, but it will keep them from scratching at it. And with the cabbage plants like they are, if they peck at them, it's not going to be great for them, but I don't think it's going to hurt them that bad. They can't get to the center of them there. So I don't think it's going to be that bad until we get their fence around the whole garden. So now I'm going to grab some water and we'll get it watered. Okay, now move to the other plant. Good job. Good job. All right, guys, that's got it done. Listen, we really appreciate y'all following along with us. If you haven't already, be sure you hit that like button and subscribe. And we'll have more garden content. We'll have more content of all kinds of stuff farm related. So let's support each other. Let's grow with each other. And if you know of a better way to grow cabbage that works on your place, let us know. Put it down in the comments below. So we're all here as a community to help one another out. So guys, we really appreciate it, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks, guys.